Okay, one of my many thoughts of the day today. It's mind-blowing to me that when people talk about the open border situation that we have in this country, in which we've had, which has been ramped up for the last 4 years, almost 4 years, and I'm probably going to look a little ignorant presenting this as a revelation, a personal revelation of mine. But I just found out yesterday through some casual Googling, unfortunately it's on Google, that this is just a very typical and age-old socialist position, open borders. Why isn't anybody, and I'm pointing the finger at the right, even all the way up the ladder to Trump, when they talk about the open border situation, the border crisis, why aren't they framing it this way? Because it underscores the big picture that's going on. We have a Marxist-informed government, a radicalized government, Democrat Party, includes some sellouts on the right, like McConnell, whoever, you take your pick. Yeah, not firing rockets today, but I'll get there. The big picture view. Everyone, the old can't see the forest for the trees. Everyone's these days they take their magnifying glass to these issues, and they're not only getting distracted by a single tree or trees, but they're examining the type of bark specific to each tree, and is genealogy the right phrase to describe the genetic trajectory of tree bark? And there's what interests me the most, what I think is most relevant, especially for people like me and most people who aren't scholars on this stuff, who don't do this for a living, who aren't politicians, who supposedly are learned in these subjects, is you form a big picture view. You form a thesis, if you may, a citizen's thesis. And the thesis is we have a radicalized Democrat Party, and it's radicalized by horrible ideologies like Marxism and the other awful leftist ideologies that align and overlap with Marxism, socialism, and communism. Communism being traditionally the end goal of Marxism, but these days Marxism has mutated. They've refined their approach to include to make it more of a cultural struggle. It's not so much a class struggle anymore. It's more cultural and identity struggle. So instead of the rich capitalist pigs being the source of society's evils, now it's the whites and I guess the Jews. We're those are the sources of evil for society, and through intentional and deliberate Marxist organizations, manipulative Marxist organizations like BLM, which was formed by 3 trained Marxists. Patrice Cullors is one of the women that formed it. They've admitted that openly. Yeah, there has been, especially since the Obama presidency, you could trace it back to Clinton's, but Obama's more overtly, there's been a gradual Marxist takeover of our capitalist republic. So yeah, the open borders, it's just another asinine, misguided, naive, romantic, socialist view, liberal, far left view. That's why, in such bizarre and extremely negligent and intentional ways, the Biden-Harris administration was intentionally flooding our country with illegal immigrants. And I've seen people on Fox News and people talk like, at some point they ask, why are they doing this? Well, because they're either socialists or they're being influenced by socialists and far leftists. That's the big picture view. That's why they're flying people behind the backs of the citizens of this country. Anyway, that's the end of the thought. I'm probably going to have to edit this video to make it more palatable.